everybody. Alright, so this is my Satellarknight rank up deck. I got Utopia, Beyond the Hope, and Hope Dragon because of the fact that I can rank up into Beyond Hope with any of my light warriors that's in my deck, including Utopia, of course. Because the Satellarknight XYZs are also light warriors, so I can rank them up into Beyond the Hope, which has a really awesome effect. Once these XYZs summon, your opponent's current monsters they control's attacks become 0, and it stays like that while they're face up. So that's an awesome ability. And he's a 3000, so you gotta love that. So you're almost guaranteed to deal 3000 points of damage every time. Then of course you can summon Hope Dragon by discarding a rank up magic card while you control a Utopia monster. So Beyond you can't do it with Beyond Hope because Beyond Hope is not a Utopia monster, but you can do it with Utopia, of course. So that's the typical way you will summon Hope Dragons, by using Utopia. Alright. You could also rank up Beyond Hope to summon Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand, because he's a rank 8 light warrior, while Beyond Hope is a rank 6 light warrior. So you'll be able to summon Felgrand in this deck. So a lot of nice little options. Alright, of course I got Unuk. When he's summoned, you can send him a Satellarknight monster from your deck to the graveyard. Altair, when he's summoned, you can special summon from your graveyard a Satellarknight monster. That includes the XYZs. Satellarknight Deneb, when this is summoned, you can add a Satellarknight monster from your deck to your hand. Satellarknight Vega, this lets you special summon a Satellarknight from your hand onto the field. Thrasher, just another special summon, so you can do a lot of Exceed plays. So that's why he's in there. He's a light warrior, just like they're light warriors, so it has synergy. Exodio, so you can recycle all your monsters, including your XYZs, so you can reuse them over and over again. You get 2 Exodios on the field, you can overlay and make Gustav Max, so you can constantly recycle the Exodios. Exodios' ability effect where he gets removed from play cannot be stopped by Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. Skill Drain negates that, but Shadow Imprisoning does not. So Exodios will be still banished from play. Same goes for Battle Fader. You know, Battle Fader is destroyed, it'll get removed from play. Only Skill Drain actually would negate the effect and make them go to graveyard instead. Rank up magic, of course, you can rank up. Spell Shattering Arrow, mainly for pendulums, but very useful against other field spells. If your opponent doesn't have no back row, or he's not playing any continuous spells, this is good just to use against stuff like, you know, rank up magic, MST, stuff like that, and destroy it and deal your opponent damage. So it could become just a burn card, you know, like Spark, Okazi, you know, stuff like that. It could just be a burn card just by chaining it to a spell card. Like against Shadal's, you can use it against their Shadal Fusion, or you can use this against like in Lightsworn, you can use it against Solar Recharge, Monster Reincarnation, stuff like that. That way you could deal some damage. Mystical Space Typhoon. This helps you get rid of face down cards like Warning, Mirror Force, Boundless, stuff like that, or Light Imprisoning, or whatever you need to get rid of. Obviously, that's what that's for. Wing Blast will help you deal with stuff like that as well. You know, Light Imprisoning, stuff like that. Microcosmos, but also it helps you get rid of anything that can't be destroyed by a battle or card effect. And if played right, you can if played right, you can disrupt some plays. You can mess up your opponent, make it where it'd be hard for him to do anything. Especially if he soul charged 2 monsters and you bounce 1 back on top of their deck. You know, it make it hard for them to do anything with that turn. Shadow Imprisoning Mirror for when you're going up against dark attribute decks. If you look in the extra deck, there's no dark. It's all earth, water, light, you know, in the extra deck. So this won't hurt you as much as it'll hurt your opponent who might be running darks in their decks and extra decks. Red screen for defense. Call to Haunted, so you can reuse your Satellarknight monsters and get their effects. Because remember, whenever they're summoned, you get their effects. That includes special summoning. Honest, obviously they're light, just like your XYZs are light, so you can honest, and then with Exodios you can recycle and put it back in your deck, and when you draw them again, you get to use them again. So it's like your opponent's gonna hate that, right? Because you're gonna keep honestly them. These 3 here are considered spell cards, trap cards, of course. And a good combo that I like to do is, especially let me see, is this one yeah, Travail. When you XYZ summon him, he gets the effect where you return all other cards on the field back to their owner's hands. So this is how you can get Shadow Imprisoning, Red Screen, Call to Haunted back to your hand. But typically you might use Call to Haunted to bring back Altair. Altair bring back at the Neb. The Neb will let you add anything you want. You can add an Unk, you can add a Vega, whatever. That way, in the following turn, or in the same turn, if you do this on your turn, summon that extra stellar monster. Now you got 3 stellar monsters. Exceed into Travail. Travail will let you bounce Call Haunted back to your hand. So if you call on Haunted during opponent's turn, the Altair get back to the Neb. The Neb gets you Vega, for example, which is a typical target to get anyway. And you have Red Screen. Your opponent can't attack your monsters, so you'll be able to stall, you know, until your following turn. Then summon the Vega. Then exceed into the Travail. Bounce everything on the field, so you get the Red Screen back to hand, the Call Haunted back to hand. Because the Altair you brought back with Call Haunted, of course, would be at XYZ material now. So this would just be on the field waiting to be bounced back to hand. Get bounced back to the hand so you can recycle it, and you won't lose 1,000 during your end phase with Red Screen, so you'll be able to defend and still maintain your life points, right? So, and then of course reusing Call Haunted, gotta love that. So that's important to keep in mind. If you want, you can obviously change the extra deck a little bit and add 2 more Travail, but for now I'm only using 1 in this build, but you can use 3 so you can abuse that Travail recycling effect. If you're not a big fan of Shadow Imprisoning, for example, in case you want something a little more versatile, you know, something that can work against any deck of any attribute, you can use Phoenix Chain. I recommend Phoenix Chain. That's a good card. Ain't a bad idea. I wouldn't be surprised. I end up doing that as well in this deck. You know, put in Phoenix Chain instead, just because it could work against a lot of lot of different decks with a lot of different attributes, and then make Travail, bounce it back to my hand so I can reuse it over and over again. So it'd be like an infinite Fiendish chain. But for now, I just go straight with Shadow Imprisonment Mirror because it just shuts down a lot of decks. Let's see. I got Delta Theros. He's pretty good. And he's generic, so you can make him in a lot of different decks. When this card, when you normal summon or special summon a monster, the opponent cannot activate cards or effects. You know, so that's pretty good. You know, you can't activate no effects in response. So this is a good way of, you know, just allowing you to summon monsters without your opponent responding to them, like Bottomless or Trench or anything like that. So stuff like that is good. So if you feel your opponent has a Bottomless, Trench, or anything similar to that, then making him is obviously a good choice. Once per turn, you can detach material from this card to target one card on the field, destroy that target. Typically, you can target whatever you feel. Like if your opponent played Trap Tricks, right? Use Marmello, add a Bottomless, and then set it, and at the end of the turn, it's like, okay, summon three Satellarknights. Or like what you do is you can summon Thrasher, and if they don't Bottomless Thrasher, then you can summon Vega, right? Use Vega's effect to drop another Vega, and then exceed into Delta Theros, and he can't respond. The Bottomless will be useless, and then you can use the Theros effect, detach and pop the Bottomless. You know what I mean? So that's always good. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon one Satellarknight monster from your hand or deck. So that's a really good effect. The most typical target is Altair, because you use Altair to bring back Delta Theros. You know, so that's a combo I like to do to recycle. But I always wanted the ability. I always wanted him to have the ability where he summons it from the graveyard, so you can bring back Altair from the graveyard and it'd be just a nice little infinite loop, right? Well, he doesn't have that effect. But ironically, Travail does. So it's like, okay, they made up for it. They made Travail, and Travail has that effect that I wanted. That when he's sent from the field to a graveyard, you can special summon a Satellarknight monster from your graveyard. And obviously, a typical target would be Altair, because Altair would bring back Travail. Now, if Travail's effect was when he's special summoned, oh man, that would be crazy. But he has to be XYZ summoned to get that effect to return all other stuff. But if it was when he was special summoned, oh man, because think about it, he will go from the field to graveyard, bring back Altair. Altair will bring him back. When he comes back, if his effect did apply when he's special summoned, bounce Altair back to your hand, plus everything else your opponent has. So all his monsters and whatnot will be gone. His back row will be back in his hand. He could reset, reactivate his back row, but you know, it's the fact that he has to reset it and all that stuff. It's just funny. But the fact that now the fact that you have the ability to use Altair again is just broke sauce. But that's why they made sure his ability only triggers from XYZ summoning, and not from special summoning. He has a once per turn detached material from this card to send one random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. Since it's a send effect, it doesn't activate the Dark World's effects, but it does activate the Shaddolls and Burning Abyss. Satellarknight, because he's your rank 4 Black Rose, right? He'll clear the field for you, just as much as Travail will clear the field for you, so that we can attack your opponent, right, and deal a lot of damage. But Exciton will just clear the field, because that turn your opponent won't take no battle damage or effect damage. But this effect can be activated during your main phase or during your opponent's battle phase by detaching the material. And he's a light type, gotta like that, right? Wings Sky Blaster Castile. Detach one material, put one monster face down, defense position. Or detach two materials and target one face-up card and shuffle it back into the opponent's deck. that's the effect that I use the most. Of course, a lot of us do, and it's really useful against effects that against monsters that can be destroyed by battle, or cards that can be destroyed, or just to get rid of something flat out. Because it's like Wing Blast. So you gotta love that. Number 101, Silent Honor Arc Knight. Mainly because I had space, I threw him in there. You know, same as Cowboy had space, threw him in there. So number 101, he's good. Detach both materials. Target one special summon monster your opponent controls that's in attack position and add it as a material. If this card would be destroyed by battle card effect, detach a material. And it's a 2100, so it's decent strength. I got a Cowboy. In defense mode, you detach a material, deal your opponent 800 points of damage, or if he's in attack mode, detach a material. When this card attacks an opponent's monster, this card gains 1000 attack, and the opponent's monster loses 500 attack or the damage step. Heroic Champion Excalibur. Because this is a warrior deck, so you'll be able to get the 2 warriors necessary to create him. He's a light type. Detach both materials, he becomes 4000 until the end of your opponent's turn. You can only activate this effect during your turn, of course, and it's an awesome ability because a lot of times you'll need that power boost, that big oomph. Of course, he's a light warrior, so you can rank him up into Beyond the Hope, or into Strike Bouncer. Radiant Star Liege Paladinamo requires 2 level 4 light monsters. This deck has level 4 light monsters. Once per turn, you can detach 2 materials from this card. Target 1 monster your opponent controls. That target's attack becomes 0 and negates its effects. When this card on the field is destroyed by your opponent's card, either by battle or by card effect, and sent to the graveyard, draw a card. So awesome in many ways. It's a 2000, not bad, and you can rank up into a bouncer or into a Beyond Hope with his effect. Thinking of a combo that this would be useful in. Let's say there's a monster that won't let you summon a monster that's higher than rank 4, right? So you can exceed into Star Liege Paladinamo, detach both materials, right? And target your opponent's monster. His attack will become 0 and his effects will be negated. Then now you can rank up, right, into a Beyond Hope. And then there you go. Now you have a 3000 rank 6, and you can run your opponent over with that. Of course, number 39, Utopia, because he will help you create number 99, Hope Dragon, which is a nice 4000 beater. There's a lot of number monsters in this deck, so his effect of bringing back a number monster, you know, would work, obviously. Strike Bouncer, obviously. It's one of your rank up monsters you rank up into using a light warrior. Gauntlet Shooter, you use Cowboy. You use Cowboy to create, because what you can do is make Cowboy detach a material, deal your opponent 800, and then rank up into Gauntlet Shooter. Use Gauntlet Shooter's effect, detach a material, pop your opponent's monster, and be able to attack in the same turn and deal more damage. It's 2800 defense, so you could use it in a defensive way, where you use Cowboy's ability to deal 800, then you rank up into Gauntlet Shooter into defense mode, because he has 2800 defense. That could block a good amount of attacks. You could also use his ability to get rid of a monster that might be stronger than his defense. Beyond the Hope, when he's XYZ summoned, all monsters your opponent controls becomes 0. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach one XYZ material from this card and target one XYZ monster you control, and one Utopia monster in your graveyard. Banish the first target, and if you do, special summon the other target. Sorry, I can't read the rest of the effect, but typically what I use him for is just the first part of his effect, not his detach effect, just his summoning effect. I just rank up into him, all my opponent's monsters attack is on 0, and I just start wrecking shit. Felgrand. You can use Bouncer or Beyond Hope to rank up into Felgrand. Felgrand, once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach a material from this card, then target one face-up monster on the field. This turn, its effects are negated, but it's unaffected by other cards' effects. And it's a 20. He's a 2800. Gustav Max, you can use 2 Exodials to create it. Detach a material, deal 2,000 points of damage to your opponent, and during this turn, you can still attack the turn you use that effect. And of course, number 99 Hope Dragon, you can discard a rank up magic card to special to XYZ summon him on top of a Utopia monster, and number 39 Utopia is your main target for this summoning. He has an effect that once per turn you can target one number monster in your graveyard, special summon it in face of defense position, and its effects are negated during either player's turn. When a monster effect that targets this card during either player's turn, when a monster effect targets this card, you can detach a material and negate and destroy that monster that targeted him. He's a 4,000, so you gotta love that. And that's the end of the deck profile.